Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday streaming. Hopefully, we all had a great Saturday after after our stream yesterday. And yeah, I think we got some pretty good work done yesterday. There were a couple of things that I looked at, kind of just from from what some of you mentioned, and I didn't get to all of them, but namely like um, the anti-aliasing method. Currently, yeah, I think Hisham brought this up, and it was kind of the difference between TAA and TSR. And there is a difference in like a performance increase, but the one thing, like the TSR, I believe, is a little bit better looking. So especially when it comes to graphs, let me show you the difference with that. Hey, Keith, welcome, welcome. Um, so let's look at project settings and anti-aliasing. Hopefully you'll be able to tell. I'm not sure how good the quality is. Hopefully it's coming good enough on. I'm gonna go full screen as well. It's coming as good as possible on YouTube. Hey Imran, hello. So right now this is TSR, and let's take a look at TAA. So um, I'm I'm not entirely sure if you're able to see it. Like I can see it on my end, especially on like the more distant type of vegetation and all. But it's kind of minimal to be honest. So it's definitely you'll see like with the TSR it looks a little sharper versus TAA. It's probably, unfortunately, it's probably really hard to tell on unless it's probably like a 4K kind of thing. Like even I'm having a hard time telling the difference. But yeah, it definitely is a good option to add to my settings menu because it does increase by a few frames. So let me see, like right now, this one is around 31, 32-ish on TSR. So switching to TAA, it it does gain maybe one or two frames at least in my case. So that's one thing to think about. Um, so the other thing that I was looking into is that dreaded message here that you've probably seen it just happen like a little bit a while ago, like this one, like the video memory has been exhausted and it kind of goes away. So a couple of the things that I've done is and that actually seem to have helped. So in my let me see where this is. So um, wherever you have your engine installed, it's going to be in the engine slash config slash Windows engine.ini. So some of the things that I've changed is the pool size VRAM percentage. I've set that to 90. It was set to 0, and I'm not entirely sure if that uh, but I think that helped a little bit, and then also added these other settings as well. So this was from a resource, and I can share that with you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Um, it was a blog post on um, the Unreal Engine forums. And let me see, I think Hisham shared that with us. And let me see if I can find that, or crates actually. So let me open the resource from the forums to anybody that's interested. It's this page here. So how to improve texture streaming GPU performance in UE5. So I was looking at a couple of the replies that somebody posted down here. Let me see if I can find it. Um, yeah, so this part here, this is kind of what helped in my case. And I'm still playing around with a little bit with the settings for the pool size VRAM percentage and the pool size down here, but um, This has actually helped remove the message for quite a while, and also looking at the performance stats in here in for my video card, kind of trying to balance this out a little bit as well. So it is definitely a balancing game. And also, if you go to audit statistics, I managed to bring down the loaded, the fully loaded memory down to like 4.851 gigs. So, probably still can be made even better, but it's slowly getting there. Hey Imram, uh, don't don't you have your editor FPS cap? I do not. I mean that's literally how well it works. Unfortunately, I wish it was better, but yeah, it's again it's very relative to kind of the draw calls and definitely what I'm looking at. Also, right now everything is loaded, so like all the levels are loaded into the world. And I'm, like if I was to zoom out, like this thing is probably going to pop up because like it tries to, it's got like everything in here, like the residential areas, like the facility here, all the lookout towers. But yeah, the count has been much better now. Like when it was constantly like over 2 gigs or oh hey Aaron, your crates. Okay, thank you thanks again for sharing that. And hey, James, welcome, welcome. It's going good. How are you doing? But yes, I do not have the editor capped. That it's kind of interesting because it can be capped if um, in my game settings when I go into game, if I set the cap there, but I haven't set it in here. So, oh hey James, yeah, enjoy, enjoy. That sounds delicious. Yeah. Well, so. One of the things that I was showing yesterday, somebody asked, is kind of like the start of the game, and I ran into the issue where you couldn't like exit out of the airplane. So I managed to fix that, and so I can show it to you a little bit better now as far as, kind of the start of the game and and how that is. So let me jump into that and let's take a look. Oh, Cap, that's good. That's good. I wish I could get 60 in the editor. Imran, what video card do you have? Can I ask? All right, so basically that's kind of how it you fall out of the airplane, and once you press spacebar, you get up, and then it's kind of you start the missions. The first one is going to be kind of close to this campgrounds, and you're going to meet that one guy that was actually moved them in town to show a couple of the interactions, and he's going to hand you this device that I have here. So you're going to start off with this device. You're not going to have the device like once you fall out of the airplane. The first guy that you meet, whether whatever the four location would be, he's going to hand you the device, and then kind of the missions are going to start flowing through. Oh, 36, that's actually a nice one. I have a friend that's actually selling a 3070, and I'm thinking of getting it, but at the same time, I I still want um, to target things for my 1070, so if I can get things to run well on a 1070, then you know, um 3060, 3070 should run this very nicely. But yeah, I think I'll stick to the 1070 for now and try and like get things running good on, mid to low level video card first. Yeah, I think Keith, that's about the same here in the States, about $300 for a 3060, 3070. All right, so yeah, that's a little bit of kind of how the game starts, and but of course the flight is going to be a lot longer. You're going to start way back there, and then it's going to end up, uh, you're going to end up choosing where to jump. Hey, Imsol, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so another thing that we looked at yesterday, and we kind of ended, and I wanted to show you guys, is how did I, kind of making the little where the dam dumps the water, and kind of transition from this moving water into the lake. So what I did is actually make like this little uh, wall. I'm not sure what you call it, like a little barrier. Overflow. I, I really, I think sometimes as a game designer, you kind of start to learn, about like forestry stuff, about like um, you know, civil engineering stuff. So, kind of just this overflow here that would kind of separate the two. And there's like a little bit of an offset in height, and some particle effects down here to make it look like the water is dumping over the side. So um, looks looks okay, kind of the good decent transition between the two. 4060 comes with 8 gigs of RAM. Oh wow, really? Oh, that's interesting. So I'm thinking at 12 gigs of RAM, I should not have any of those running out of memory issues. Yeah, that's what's interesting, with the performance being the same between the 3060 and 4060. It's kind of the same with like the 1070 and 1660 that I think Hisham has, because they're I think 1660 might be a newer generation, or they're about the same. I can't recall what it is. But yeah. Um, okay. Another thing that I've added in is, and I'm not sure if I managed to show it yesterday, is the kind of the entrance to the parking lot and the dam, which goes through here. So I wanted to show that to you guys. It's not, fully completed just yet, but yeah, I just wanted to walk you guys around a little bit. Maybe we'll play around with this somewhat. So it kind of goes into the the facility in here, and let me see if I can get this to kind of light up a little bit, if I can. What is this rock there? Oh, no, I don't want to delete the whole thing, but let's do a little bit of edit, and we'll remove that. There we go. Oh, 50 series? So I guess I'm gonna have to wait until that gets announced. That's a good thing. Thank you. All right. Yeah, so where were we? We were just kind of coming off of the parking garage over here, and I might want to kind of turn up some of these lights in here as well a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, this level hasn't been optimized that well, so I still need to do some work on this. So it's kind of not the um, not the best at the moment. And there's like an extra landscape here, like this terrain that I'm probably going to end up removing. I am still debating on whether to keep that or not. We'll see. Um, the tube light, is that a blueprint? Yes, it is. So it's kind of just a blueprint that I use in most places. If this one is the one that we were thinking of. and it's yeah, it has a few settings on it. If we were to look at one of those, as far as like the volumetric intensity, like the emissive, um, if kind of light color, if I want to change the mesh or not, um, kind of the indirect intensity, so if this one like kind of bumps up that way, it's going to be a little bit brighter, through lumen. So now I think it's just maybe like around a 5-ish or a 6. Let's see. That should be fine. Yeah, Keith, I think that's a good point. Like if you start um, with something that's a little bit lower, I think it's also a good way to gauge, um, kind of the performance, right? All right, so as we go in here, this is what originally was like, the bunker. So now it's just, so I can walk you guys through some of this area, and maybe we'll get to test a few things out, while I'm gonna try and also see if I can make some of these so they're not like poking through inside of the dam facility. I hope, at least. So maybe we'll bring the player in and we'll walk around. Good test for like the collisions and everything else. Oh yeah, so and and you can pet him, Imran. Yeah, that's one of like a little tiny mission of um, you know that you can pet the dog. So then there's like this area up top, which is like kind of just a storage type of area, and yeah. So let's see, for example, this guy here might be, there's a couple of things that maybe we'll just do during the stream to just kind of fix things up and make sure that everything is navigable and you can link them together. Uh, and maybe stuff like this where the um, like the damage, like these are not working properly. Trying to figure out why not. Some of these have been kind of uh, the issues that I ran into after deciding that, virtual textures might not be worth the headache. Oh, thank you, Keith. I'm happy you like them. But we'll walk around. I want to also, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to test the elevator, like the elevator in here. Uh, it's all the way down here at the bottom. So, so yeah, we'll see if we'll see how that works. I think I might need to redo like the interactions for the elevator. Oh, hey James, I've been making boiler props and radiators. Oh, that'd be awesome. I mean, if you're on Discord, feel free to share them. I mean, I think we'll all like to see that. So let me see what's going on with this damage here. Why is this having a little bit of a fit? There we go. Okay. I sometimes you just need to resave things to for them to work, which is kind of odd, but that happens. All right. Well, let's try and position this a little bit better because right now it's a little bit off from this ramp. That's kind of the entrance. So I'm going to try and position this, see if I can make it better. Let's do this little thing here to set the pivot offset here. And now I can just try and like move this around. Sometimes it works better to just have it in unlit mode, especially if there's not a lot of lights around. And yeah, I think the biggest test is to see if I can walk through this, that not run into any collision troubles. So we'll test this out. There's going to be some gaps, like we have here, which is easily solvable, fixable. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll see how this works. And let's just quickly edit this little bit here. Where this one, I actually wanted it to be kind of an angled thing. Like uh, like this. All right, I hope at least to make that entrance look like an actual entrance and not just uh like you're about to bump your head or something into it. That might look a little bit better. Gonna try and remove some of these from here, and I'll try and figure out how to do with this one. All right, I think that can stay on that side there. All right, well, let me get the player back in this area, and we'll jump into game and see how things look. It'd be a good practice to see how strong the flashlight is. Let's see, where is the player start? Okay, I think that could be a good spot for it. So let's, oh, I forgot, should be in dev mode. All right, so let me go into my level blueprint here and change this to dev mode and jump into game. And also wanted to make sure that this level loads properly. Yeah, sometimes it's, there it goes. It's kind of odd why it doesn't load everything. I think it's kind of like the editor, and like the first time I do it, it's having some troubles. So I'm not sure if you can hear like I've tried to do like the audio for like one of these items. So as you move away from it, it kind of dies down as well. But I'm not entirely sure why this one did not get loaded. Let's try jumping into game mode again. Like this particular, this is the damn parking medium. Let's see, do I have these on a specific grid? Should be on large assets, so it should load it. Let's try it again. Oh, James, yeah. The 4090, that thing is crazy. The T-Rex, so that was actually just a billboard. I think I might have I think might be for something else. We can look at that real quick. This thing still doesn't load when it's supposed to. This level should have loaded. Why wouldn't it let's try and set this to none and try and jump into it again. And mind you, this is like the first time I've actually tested this. um, Errors are to happen. Okay, so I'm guessing something that I'm gonna have to take a look at. Um, like this one seems to be loading back here, um, this dam facility area. I'm not entirely sure why this one doesn't load properly. Type of ray tracing for sound. Oh, that's actually interesting. I never thought of sound as being, like ray tracing for that. That's actually kind of interesting. But yeah, for the T-Rex, let me see. Did we have a T-Rex in here? It's basically just this icon. So this icon here, it's just a regular sound with an attenuation, basic attenuation setup. But yeah, that's kind of interesting why it doesn't my assumption is that it's something related to how this is handled, like kind of where to load around. And I'm not sure how this radius is taken into account. And this is basically how I'm doing like testing to see if everything has been loaded in. And and that's why I'm not entirely sure why this is not like loaded in fully once I get into game mode. So I'll have to look into that a little bit. But let me try and move my player somewhere inside here. Hopefully I won't fall through the floor of something that's not loaded. We'll see. Yeah, it'll be some kind of test. Hey, Hisham, welcome. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of, that it was just gonna fall through the stuff that hasn't been loaded yet. So in order to see if we can address that, just gonna try and move that out. It's gonna be a little bit of walking, I guess, but we'll see if things get loaded if I start from outside. Like, let's start from here. Do you have load sectors? Um, so all of it is world partition based. Uh, uh, James, hopefully that's what you were asking with VBO. So yeah, see, this is what I'm not entirely sure of. Like, why does it still keep loading things after the fact? when it shouldn't. You know, like it should have everything loaded by the time I'm here. Part of it could be due to the grid itself, but I'll have to look into it a little bit more. So this area here is so far so good, but like these assets like that are like underneath here, um, I should be able to see them, but they didn't get loaded in. And the same thing goes for, as you can see, like the rest of the bunker got loaded in. The bunker, you know, I keep calling it that, but um, you know, the dam. So everything else, you know, kind of works fine. This is gonna be something if this works. Does this guy have collisions? Oh, this is crazy. Oy, that didn't end up too good for me. But I did make an attempt at using some of this mantling thing to to get on there. So unfortunately, I guess it's just I'm gonna have to spend some time after the stream to figure out why, you know, this particular one, um, I think this is like the medium. Yeah, so this is the medium assets. Why this one doesn't load properly. Um, Spatially loaded. Let's make this one not be spatially loaded and see if that helps. It shouldn't matter, but let's give that a try real quick. Um, so no, there is no calling for that, and because I've kind of resumed or kind of uh, I'm using the grids to load the levels. So you know, not doing calling as I was before, and yeah, that's why I'm not entirely sure why. So let's try this again. Let's see if it's something related to the to how it gets loaded, like the specially loaded, spatially loaded, and see if that might be it. And still kind of being things are loaded in, but this one it is not. So yeah, I'll have to take a look at that, guys. I'm not entirely sure why that one is not making it in. But at least in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just you know, hack this a little bit so at least we can make it into here. I know that this level loads, and what I'm gonna do is let me see if I selected the right one. So this level, I know that this one loads. So I'm gonna use this one, or maybe, let's see, what is this? This one's the medium. Let's try using the small items one. So I'm gonna edit this one and try to, uh, actually it looks like that thing goes all the way, the bar itself, these kind of guardrails, go all the way to here. And a while ago we were talking about, or actually yesterday, we were talking about the pack level actors. This guardrail is a perfect candidate for something like that. At least to me, that would fit in really well. So for now, I'm just gonna kind of hack this out like this to move this out of the way. Yeah, I think that will get us through and hopefully be able to access this area. And I'll show you a couple of some of the other interactions that are going to be happening in there. Yeah. Um, Yeah, James, I mean, I'm definitely gonna, I'm hoping to figure something out eventually, but yeah, it might not be very straightforward. So the assets do have LODs, but with all the other level instances, they work just fine. I'm not entirely sure why this one is not loading in. And the other thing is, I was showing earlier kind of the world partition subsystem and how it tracks to see if everything was loaded. I might need to set that up a little bit differently. Maybe from the player origin to have everything loaded within like a certain radius from the player, and then actually kind of load me in, so to speak. That is, of course, if it knows where that is at that time, at that point. All right, so let's see if we can like balance on the beam here and just walk around and get into there. This is kind of hackish, but hey, if it works, it works. Why mess around with it? So this little guy, he's like, you can pet him. Just I need to like fix his interaction. But yeah, he's gonna track you once you're like in here, so he's like, he tracks you for a little bit, then he kind of loses attention. So, um, oh, hey, that's actually kind of a cool idea. I, yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. So all these should be like interactable items. I just need to make them interactable. Yeah, so let's kind of walk around a little bit. See see if we can. Oh my God, what the heck? I got stuck into something here. There's some kind of funky collisions going on over here. Let's see what that's about. What did it get stuck in? Oh, it almost, I think it fell through the floor in this opening here. So this is good. At least now might not be the funnest stuff to look at least, but I think if we can fix a couple of these issues, things might work a little bit better. All right, well, let's try that again. I think the door might be fine. I'll try it again, see if it's if I need to just probably just remove collisions. You're probably right as well, Imran. It's I haven't but I think the biggest thing that jumped at me was the gap between the door and the stairs. It was like um it like the player kind of fell through and wasn't able to get past it. So yeah. All right, so like things are loading in, and there they go. There's still some stuff being loaded back there. Let's try this again. Oh, and well, I think Hitman, if I recall correctly, they had a lot of double swing doors, like kind of the restaurant style doors, and at least I'm remembering some of them probably, but yeah, it's I think they did like a whole presentation at a GDC just on doors. And I think they had somebody from Uh, who did um, The Last of Us? So, and they had everything as a cutscene. I think they had a lot of, I've seen a lot of games that just have doors as a cutscene. So that way they don't give you control over it. But I've noticed the fact that they all open both ways, which is kind of annoying. And so the way that I've done it is it it only opens one way, and I just disable collisions when you open it, and then it closes behind you. So that way you don't have to like deal um, with the closing of the door itself. And so that's could be good, could be bad. It's kind of how I've done it to keep things simple. Yeah. Oh, thank you. And I do like the fact, with the opening the door and the closing the door, and it's kind of, that transition is pretty cool. I have to say. All right, so let's try that again. See see where we're at with those collisions. Some funky looking materials. Hey, what's up? There we go. I think the collisions with the door was fine. One thing I don't recall is if this thing, yeah, I still need to look into the elevator and see if it works, how to get that to work. But let's climb up to the next level. Kind of walk around here a little bit. There's some things floating. So this is kind of just like a storage closet. There's some stuff missing back there. Let's see down here. Okay, so the collisions for the most part, they work okay. All right, so that one's not going to be enterable. This is going to be like kind of just quarters or something like that. Um, there's like a slight mirror there, but yeah, there's going to be a few of the friendly NPCs around here, sleeping. So let's go back out and we'll go actually one level below. Or actually, no, let's go all the way to the top. There's like 3 levels, 4 levels here, so and that's why kind of the elevator is an option. All right, so this is going to be one of the exits, and this is just kind of like a control room, kind of communications room, so to speak. And yeah, the elevator is down there. Like I said, I'm gonna need to fix that, and I'll hope to have that ready by next week. So let's go all the way back down. I'll show you some of the kind of some of the electrical room, and let's go through here, down here. Oh, did I not go all the way down? I needed to go one more level. Oh man. I guess I'm not following my own signs. And I did put signs on these. All right, one more level to go. All right, so back in here, there's the puppy. All right. All right, so this is one of the electrical rooms with some busted up shaders that I need to fix. This is going to be like an interactable generator that in one of the missions you're going to need to fire up. And this is also like just like an electrical room, pump room station down here. with another one of the generators. I just dropped a couple of things back there. This shader is still kind of messed up. All right, so let's go into the other area for like the entrance. And can we get to that? Shoot. I wish I... Where is that section? Did it not load? Ah, come on, really? So the other section is kind of another connection between, and it's all the way back here. All right, so this being like another one of the kind of like the electrical room inside the dam, you know, that kind of, if you think of the dam, you know, like the turbines and all that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Hisham. Thank you. James, are you implementing ray tracing? Not really. I mean, in order for you to run ray tracing good, you need like something that you have, you know, like in the 40, 90s area, 80s. So yeah. Also question, do you use true lights like emissive objects and place lamps, or are they just no, I don't use like they have emissive, and a lot of the emissive can light the area around it if it's too bright, you know, with lumen, but no, the emissive is just for effect. And most of all my lights are just either point lights or rectangular lights. Yeah, the metal shale does. It definitely does. But uh, for now, it's just going to be, you know, pretty basic, right? All right. So this one here is like another entrance to this to the dam. So let me just place this where it was supposed to, and maybe we'll do a walk around that one as well. So bear with me for 1 second. I just need to place it as it should be. So it's kind of right around where that where the bottom area is. At least that's how I planned it originally. I think it might work better if it's just right here at the top. So I think I'm just going to keep it over here for now. And we'll do a little walk around this. And I believe this one might have the elevator, like a second elevator that actually works. We'll take a look and see if it does. And I hope to get it in the right place. So at least we're not falling through the floor. All right, so there's the second elevator with the stairs going up here. So this puts you into another area of with some of these turbines that are kind of not in the right place right now. Somehow they ended up kind of bunched up in this area here, and they shouldn't be, but just gonna move them out of the way for now. And I do need to update some of the, and like I said, this is kind of just another exit that will be through like a ventilation shaft. And I'm gonna need to fix the shader for this piping here. But yeah, basically it kind of goes down this shaft here, and it connects into the main facility down through here. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, my pleasure, James. And Stalker Vibe, you know, I love Stalker. I love those games. And yeah, that facility, I think it's, you know, I would um, maybe maybe closer a little bit to Metro in some regards, because those are like two games that I, I really enjoyed like a lot. Okay, well, let's see if we can, at this time, if we can navigate to this area, and we'll give that one more try. See how it works. Yeah, Stalker is definitely a hidden gem. So I'm really looking forward to Stalker 2, right? It should be coming out this year, I think. So I have that wish listed. Hopefully, the first one didn't disappoint, so I'm confident that this one is going to be just as good. But yeah, Metro was like to me it was like Dishonored. You know, like it was a game that I knew about, and I'm like, I don't know, I just don't feel like playing it. But then after I tried it, I just like played through, without a break. And yeah, that was kind of interesting. After that, all the other Metros I've played uh, as soon as they came out. Oh man, this mantling is somehow annoying. All right, so bear with me while I kind of go up the stairs over here. Oh yeah, Exodus was actually, I know a lot of people kind of complain about it, that it was a little bit, oh no. I'm so sorry, guys. This is, again, apparently an issue like the other one has. So I'll have to look into this and see why this is not loading, because, large assets. Let me check something real quick. Where are my grid settings? Thought it was in the world settings. So there's the main grid, there's foliage, large assets. No, there it is. And it's got a far away loading range. Should streaming block in situation where I need to see what this does. And I think I might have also an idea as to why this might be happening. So these levels, previously, if you look at this level, like its origin point is way back here. So I'm wondering if that's where it's based on. And I'll have to look into that and see if that is indeed the case, that these are not loaded because of that. Let's actually do a quick, because like the weird thing is, this one loads, and this also has an origin way back there, and it's odd why that would be the case. Let me try something real quick. This is a simple level, so bear with me for just 1 second while I load into a couple of these and try to move all the assets back to kind of as close as to origin as possible, to like 0, 0, 0 in the world. Because like right now, if you look at this, they're like all the way back here. And yeah, I don't really like that. That's what I've done with my other levels. So I'm just gonna move them here. I'm not sure if that affects anything, but it's probably not good. And it's also it was very difficult for me to place these level instances with everything else somewhere out there. Oh, Imran, that's awesome because like we just looked at how easy it was to model stuff in in Unreal, so that was pretty cool. But I'm not sure if can you do the baking? I don't think it's if that's is that a thing? All right, so that's the left, that's the top. All right, so things are looking a little bit better. Let's save this real quick. And I'll get into the other levels as well. Let's do those two. So the dam interior. Oh, you can. Oh, that's awesome. So you can bake stuff and get the normal and everything else out of that and then use it in your shaders. That's pretty damn cool. All right, let's see where everything is in here. So that's the dam. I guess that's the one that we just moved. But I am not liking some of this. Where is all the other stuff? Yeah, that'd be interesting if you could do that for sure. And hey, narrator, welcome, welcome. Sorry, just saw your message. Welcome. Fifth Vortex, hey, how's it going? Okay, so yeah, this is what this is like an example here. And so this one is at origin, so this is good. Let's see, what else did I have? So dam interior, large assets. Let's do the medium assets as well. I think these might be way out here. So I'm gonna try and position these like here at the origin. There we go. So probably the level instances are gonna need some moving to make them fit. Not sure if this was the best decision to separate all of these into like the medium assets, the large assets, and the small assets. It was like an attempt. So let's do this one here as well, which is as all the way back there. All right, so let's save these and we'll see the kind of mess I've made. Hopefully not too bad. All right, so the main level takes a little bit longer just because it's got, you know, everything in it. All right, there it goes. All right, let's see. These are over here because this one does have, let me see, where is the, oh, I didn't fix this one. Oh yeah, because I still call it bunker level. So that one, I know that one loads, which is fine. This one is a dam corridor entrance, and it's all the way back there. All right, let's fix this. My apologies, guys. Bear with me here. All right, so let's see. This guy is, oh, where is it? Oh my God, all the way back there. All right, so now it's a little bit better. There, that is as centered as it can get. And I'm also going to look at that bunker level and try and get this one centered. I am actually really curious if any of this is going to help. I think we'll find out soon enough. This one's got a few more actors, but it's getting there. Oops, come on. I was talking to a friend of mine that works at a AAA company, and in some in one of their projects they have literally like thousands of levels. So yeah. All right, this is almost in place. Okay, that's better. So I think we should have all of them at, or at least close to origin. We got the corridor entrance we've just done. Let's just double check this real quick. There it is, the interior. There it is, the garage, large assets, the medium assets, and the small assets. Let's see, did I do the small assets? Yep, they're there. Okay, cool. Let's go back into the main level here. Oh yeah, that is a lot of, it definitely is. It definitely is. But I mean, you got to think about, some of these bigger studios, they got at least tens of people working on this. And they can spend the time to polish things, and I'm trying to do as much as I can as well, to make things kind of, the levels linked together as best as possible, right? So um, hopefully we'll get something that's decently polished. Okay, so now I think it's going to be just um, what do you call it? Let's get those levels. Instance. Okay. So even I have got like a few, maybe dozens, a couple of dozen maybe levels. Yeah. Oh, Kojima is like 40 people. Yeah. Um, so I could see that, when you like, you only have so many people, you have to commission stuff, right? And yeah, I totally get that. All right, let's see. So dam parking large is way back there. Let's bring it in a little closer. Oops, come on, I want to get to both gizmos like that. Yeah, well, so that's the thing, you know. I mentioned this before. I think that's what kind of kept me going for this long, you know. It's you know, doing a little bit of everything. Yeah, it might not uh, you know, the end result might not look as good as somebody that does it, you know, they got like, you know, level artists and they got you know, level designers, you know, they got the, you know, the character artist and all that. So yeah, I'm totally aware of that. But you know, this kind of uh, I I I don't get bored. I think to me that's pretty important because you might end up you probably you might be it's likely to not give up, but maybe just run into and be frustrated, um, or you know get bored of hey, no, I want to do something else. No, 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 we need you to do this, and you can only do this. Yeah. Um, oh, thank you, thank you, James. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that if I think if you're passionate about something, you know, getting um, yeah, you're not gonna end up as good as somebody that, you know, that was, you know, went to school and, you know, was taught some of this stuff. But I do think that you know, um, it's definitely good to do something. Let's see if we can get this positioned a little bit better than it is. Hey, Hisham. Well, actually, have you tried? I think somebody posted either on Discord or here in the chat. Like a while back, we were looking at the modeling tool, the Unreal Engine, the modeling tools from Unreal Engine, and I think they were they were so powerful that you could like actually do like you know grass clumps in Unreal. Like you would have like the blade of grass and um, so which was like, I'm like, wow, you can do that in Unreal. I, d- I had no idea. But that's kind of just a thought, I'm guessing. And my experience with you know, modeling uh, natural assets is limited to non-existent, unfortunately. All right, so we got medium, we got large. Let's get the small as well in there. Oh, thank you, Imran. Um, I think um, I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna have the time. That's my only difficulty at the moment. But I really appreciate that because yeah, I've seen the things that you can do, and you know, as far as my modeling goes, you know, it's not, I don't do a whole lot of modeling. Um, so if you guys wouldn't have told me about the Boolean method in in Unreal, I think I might have just gone and did it in Blender. As horrible as that. Not a horrible, but like, you know, we I realized that it was so quick to do it in Unreal. I but you know, I had no idea that you can do it. All right, so things are kind of almost in place, I would say. Let's see, I think this one is part of this, so it's gotta. it can move a little closer. Yeah, James, that's, I feel very comfortable with hard surface as well, but when it comes to anything like anything natural, anything like I'm not sure. I know there's a specific name for it. I can't remember. Organic, right? So anything organic, I am I am lost. Like I can do some like very basic sculpting, but that's that's the extent of my knowledge with organic stuff. I've tried to make a rock at one point and it was like, oh my God, this looks horrible. So for that part, for that stuff, I definitely rely on, luckily the marketplace is uh, it's got a lot of stuff on it. So all right, let's try and place this around here. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool if you can make procedural rocks. Like that stuff, yeah. I mean, I can make something that looks like a rock. People will definitely be able to tell that it's a rock, but nothing like the ones that I'm currently using in my world. Hisham, do you know Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah, I've seen the trailers or like some trailers for that. That thing looks that thing looks pretty sick. All right, where is the bunker, I think is what I called it. Level instance, warehouse. I can only imagine once you have like a ton of these, how would that work? And where is my bunker level? Now I'm trying to like look under the map for it or oh, I called it damn main. Huh, good on me for naming it something different than what the name of the level is. All right, but we're kind of bringing things together here. So at least we're moving in the right direction. It's what matters. There we go. Almost placed. There we go. So very roughly, everything is in location. Um, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool with some of the stuff. Well, I mean, because there's a lot of focus on it, so I totally get it. They got to make it look good. Hey, Seven Giants, is it possible with Lumen to release a game for older video cards like 1060 GTX? Yeah, I don't see why not. Like I have a 1070, so the 1060 is not far from the 1070. Um, and it runs, decently enough. But and that's why I've set the options in my settings to disable some of the like disable lumen when you're outside or completely disable lumen. So hopefully that will help. But it will run very bad and can use the hardware ray tracing feature. Yeah, the hardware ray tracing feature I can't use it either. Um, so unfortunately that's that's how it is. All right, well, let's try this again and see if we can get this stuff loaded. If not, I'm gonna have to do some deeper dive, I guess. The thing is about grass, there could be 500 blades of grass in a small area. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, that is annoying. Why would that level not load? And the same goes for the one up top there. That they did not load the spatially loaded. Is this one spatially loaded? Let's see. Is spatially loaded. This one is set to be spatially loaded. So let's do it like that. And this one's set to be spatially loaded and it doesn't load. Hey, what's going on here, Unreal? And now this one is at like 1 gig. Yeah, so I still need to play around with some of those settings. Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 path tracing is not there yet. Oh, damn. So if on a 4090 it goes below 20 FPS, then I mean, I'm sure that on a 1070 it won't even run. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I've set this to be spatially loaded. Let's see, what's the grid that it is on? So runtime grid is none. This one is also on none. And this one is none as well. It's just not included in an HLOD layer. That shouldn't matter. Let's try this again. At least we did something in like, moving some of the levels around a little bit, so they're all the assets are at origin. But yeah, this stuff here, this should be loaded by the time I get into the game. But it is not, and they just keep kind of streaming in like this. And the one at the top is not even is not loading. And what's weird is that even if I set this one level to not be spatially loaded, where was that? It's still not fully loading in. Oh, I think I might have figured out what's going on. So this stuff here, this loading data layer, I currently have it set to be data layer type at runtime. So let me switch it to editor real quick, and I'll switch this back to being spatially loaded and large assets. Let's try this real quick. I want to see if this helps. And this one is also large assets, because that's what I wanted to have it. This one maybe being that it's kind of like the medium, I'll set that to medium assets. But for now, I'll just keep them the same. So let's see if that might help. All right, so we're loading. Interesting. Let's see if well, yeah, there we goes. There it goes. Things are loading in, but it still should be loading this stuff like before It's so it should be loading all this stuff before it it's it places the player in the world. I'm not sure why it didn't do that. That was a little odd. So, but at least if you are using data layers, this is one thing to note. The type of, this layer data type, if it's at runtime or if it's an editor. And once you look at your world partition and data layers outliner, which one of these are being shown. So I've had to change that back to it. Uh, James, you were asking me. I wasn't sure if you were asking Hisham because he was mentioning the um, that or yeah. Let me do that real quick. Sure. Let me just go outside. And I think that one was like lit, and it's let me see. Um, is it quad? No, shader, not shader complexity. Is it quad overdraw? I can't remember what that was. Um, I think this is what we were thinking, right? That's a good thing for me to look at as well, because it's probably like I've tried to optimize it as I go, but it could be better. So yeah, it's getting there. Bear with me for a sec. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. As long as it's not the one thing that it's odd, like I've run into that there it goes. At least it's going. I've run into that issue with the direct D3D driver crashed twice in one day. And it hasn't happened prior to that one day. It only happened that one day, and that's it. Uh, so it baffles me why that is happening. I've updated the drivers. I know that it's definitely a hit and miss with the NVIDIA drivers at times, but especially maybe on older cards, it just makes things worse. But yeah, it was interesting that it hasn't happened before that day, and that day it happened twice within like 10 minutes, and that was it. It hasn't happened since, knock on wood, but yeah, to me it's really odd why that is happening. So, all right, so there we go. Um, close a single mesh, the triangles turn from 10 blades. Maybe Hisham's grass has heavy overdraw. Yeah, it could be. Oh, thank you, James. Well, and then again, like I said, I am. It's not. Uh, uh, I think the only thing that I balance is, you know, picking one thing from one package and picking one thing from a different package and so on and so forth. But yeah, I try to like, pick stuff that are performance and that kind of work, for my needs. The one thing I'm not entirely sure is why does it not tell me anything about, I'm guessing like stuff that is not transparent or masked. Um, they won't show any overdraw. Uh, but the sky is also It's not masked. So I'm not sure why I'm not getting anything along these rocks, you know. Um, yeah, but so there we go. Yeah, so that's good for green. Uh, so since we're here, just gonna try and look at this thing one more time. Um, to do so, radius. Let's do the radius at what's exact state do? I'm not sure. Loaded, unloaded, activated. Um, not sure if this is gonna break things. Let's set this to like 50,000. Not sure if that's too big or not. And we'll try and see what happens. Why is my grass performing bad? Yeah, that's a good question. Um, so is it performing, Hisham, is it performing bad in um, like every grass that you've tried performs bad? This is so odd why this one is like you can see there was some stuff loaded all the way back there. Why is it that it doesn't load properly? Or at least it doesn't load um, when you were expecting it to. So I want to see some of that stuff unloading once I move away from it. You know, that's why I'm kind of just going out this way. Because what I'm hoping is that, as you can see, like the number of actors is gonna drop once I'm away from that the interior. I should have like placed a vehicle out here so we can pick up the car, but let's just go. Yeah, so out here I would have expected that like this stuff would unload, but it did not. All right, so that's definitely something that I'm gonna need to look into as to why that uh, you know those levels don't load properly. If you were to load in here, you know, like say for example you're in this area, you save, and you know if you save the player location, once you go back into game, you know this should be loaded, you know, before you actually get in there. So I'm not sure if it's something that has to do with this or and I'll have to figure that out. I'm wondering if the location might be connected to it. Like if I was to grab um, the location of my start player, you know, so the start player is here, you know, so if I was to look for at this one and then calculate, so I think this is going to be like 0, 0, 0 in the world. Not sure if the radius does anything, to be honest. But I'll have to see. So hopefully by next week, maybe I'll have an answer to anybody else that might be using kind of the same system that I have here when it comes to using level instances and uh, testing to see if streaming has completed. Okay, so yeah, that'll be something for me to do and see how to figure that one out. But that's good. We got all these pieces in place, and I think that kind of concludes everything, like all the levels that are in the world that should be. And I'm thinking, maybe for the rest of the stream, another like 20, 30 minutes or so, I'll um, I'll do a little bit of work around some of these areas, like that I was mentioning in the previous stream where they got messed up due to Unreal not saving it properly, which again is I had no idea why it happened, how it happened. And yeah, let's do a little bit of this. Uh, Hey, Gitish. Hello, hello, welcome. Well, so I kind of like them that way, to be honest. I've never changed them over um, to the new style, I guess. So yeah, I hope I had a uh, have a better answer for you, Gitish. And Hisham, yeah, same with James. I'm only gonna be around a little bit later on because I gotta do some groceries after the stream. So yeah. And I wanted to ask, what's your draw call, by the way? Like if you were um to see how many draw calls you got in that scene, what's that looking like? So Gatish, this stream we were looking at some of the areas around the dam interior back here. Kind of just doing some navigating around here. Found an issue when it comes to like loading this area that they kind of stream in like sort of piecemeal, so to speak. And I'm gonna try and figure that one out. So this is kind of where the dam industrial or mechanical stuff would be. And so we looked at some of that, and I think now what I wanted to do is try and like get these areas back to how it was before I was hit with that Unreal Engine issue where it failed to save a bunch of stuff, and some of these landscape streaming proxies became unloaded, and I was never able to get them back to their original state, which is quite frustrating. But hey, that's bugs be bugs. The free marketplace pack, that underground environment. Yeah, I can't remember if that one's still free, but it is. It is at least for that entrance area. That's a lot of parts coming from that one. Yes. So it is a really, really cool pack. I wasn't aware that, I think I got it, it might have been like a free for the month at one point, but I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. But that's actually pretty cool if it is, like permanently free type of thing. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of get this fixed up. Whoops, that did not work out the way I was hoping. All right, that's better. That's better. Try and smooth some of these areas out. Kind of get the slope going back here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So kind of basically a lot of flattening and smoothing. Control points. There we go. That's the nice thing about having roads. It's they're like really helpful because here I got like a little bit of a kind of the side of the road type of thing going, and you know back into like managing this stuff. That fixes things and connections back there. And now I can just go about and paint some stuff and generate uh, some trees. So let's start from over here, painting some of the mulch around here. Try and get it on this slope as well, see if it's got enough space to generate something. Huh, 149 average, 229 max, and 137 min. Yeah, that's good. I mean, why would that? I'm also trying to think what could cause that, Hisham, because that's kind of odd. Hey, thank you, Gitish. Yeah, it's I'm happy with it. With the process, I guess you would call it. And yeah, it's one of those things that I think you maybe like GDC sessions and stuff like that might get some insight from like some of the game development companies, like the professionals as to, how do they do it. And but for me, it kind of works. And like I have the terrain surface where I just generate trees, then just grass, then just dirt, which removes everything basically for like where you want to place like roads and stuff. And yeah, so far so good. Like this is currently what is here, and at the end it's kind of like the close-up areas where it would be, say, like grass along the roads and around maybe around some of the rocks, maybe do some clearings with it. But yeah, so one thing that I'm kind of curious to do, there's also like, as you can see right now, I've also ran the simulation to add some like the procedural foliage tool to add some rocks and some logs. What's going to be interesting to see is now if I just simulate the trees, if it's going to have enough room to actually spawn the trees because of the rocks and the logs. So let's see if everything gets removed. What I know is that I'm going to need to remove basically the currently generated vegetation and then run it again. So we'll see what happens here. Or the other thing that could happen is that it might take forever. Actually, no, that was actually pretty quick, and it ended up good. Okay, and I got a bunch of these kind of spawned up top over here as well, and down here by the road. Okay, so uh, that turned out good. I was a little afraid that I wasn't going to be able to spawn everything, because of the additional collision with like the rocks and the logs. So it seemed to have worked out pretty good. All right, so now let's do this area here. What I'm going to do in the meantime, just going to hide a bunch of these with the data layers. Hopefully it's just things are going to run a little bit better. There we go. And as you can see, this count started dropping. I'm not entirely sure how far it's going to drop, but and let's see. So let's go back into sculpt and we'll do the same thing as to flatten and start from about here. So I'm just going to go and, whoa, I went a little too far with that. Let's do kind of in the middle from here. And I'm just going to go with a ramp as well from there to here. Let's see how that does. Actually pretty good. And then the same thing, a ramp. We'll do a ramp from here to here. That should make it a little bit simpler on the sculpting, I hope. All right, so let's smooth this out. And this one over here, just gonna create a ramp as well, just like before. I love this feature. Like that. And let's do one from here to here. And we'll sculpt the terrain with the landscape splines. There we go. And now maybe do a little bit of the finer areas like around here. Add a little bit of variety. Hey, Manga, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. I'm really happy you managed to join for a little bit because, you know, we're just getting towards the end here. So, happy to have you here. All right, let's do a little bit. Yeah, yeah, that's I usually try to do it between like you know, 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern. I mean, yeah, Eastern time. So I think that's GMT. That kind of makes it 5 to 7 GMT. Yeah, so guys, next week I'm not gonna stream on I'm gonna be traveling so I'm not gonna stream on Saturday, but I hope to be doing that on Sunday. And you know, kind of same time. Um, but uh, but yeah, I'll definitely post it on Discord and you know, of course, schedule it on YouTube. But yeah, just in case that there might not be a stream next week, it's just because travels. So um, Manga, is there a tool or something to bake the final height map onto the landscape? Yeah, well, so you can always just import it. I mean, I'm not sure about baking, but whenever you go into landscape mode and you hit new, you click new, you can import from file, and in here you can use your height map file to import to create your new landscape. Uh, hopefully that was that what you were asking? Hopefully I didn't make things any more confusing for you. Hey, Breeze, welcome, welcome. I started with Unreal Sensei. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully that's going good for you. I mean, all the splines and ramps you put on the landscape, is there a way to finalize and bake it? Oh, to bake it all. You know what? That's a good question. Was thinking there's a way to export it, but I honestly don't know. I thought there was a way that you can export the landscape height map. Um, So that part I couldn't tell you. I'm not um, very knowledgeable when it comes to landscapes. Like I sculpt stuff and that's about the end of my knowledge. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense because you know, like I've never thought about that, to be honest. I've kind of run into now that I think about it, you know, I've kind of run into the need of having something like that where you can like export it, but I don't think I've um, ever tried it. Though that would be something, I think that'd be something useful to have. And I'm wondering if there isn't a way to do it, though, you know, I just don't know it. All right, so these are coming together. They're starting to make sense. Let's do kind of this area around here, and you know, maybe try and flatten the terrain around where the mobile home park is. And I think that might I might call it good for this week. So let's go into back into here, and as usual, I'm just gonna play around with the ramps. So I'm gonna start from here to let's do to here. I'm gonna add a ramp. There we goes. That's actually turned out pretty good. And then I'm gonna start from here to there to add a ramp. And from here to here, add another ramp in there. And let's do this one to from there to there. Add another ramp. Guess it might work if it's a little bit higher like that. And I can like lift this up as well a little bit. There we go. And then we'll also do it from here. Let's see how far we can take this to about there. Add a ramp. That's perfect because this is where the kind of the tunnel entrance is going to be. So that's good. I knew I had it in this area somewhere. Just couldn't recall exactly where. There we go. And let's do from here to here, add a ramp. And the same thing from here to here. And another ramp there. And we can smooth out the rest. But yeah, that's always nice to have like and you know my terrain was went through iterations, right? It's it's definitely not how it started, and you know I also went at it, and you know as I was placing things in the world to fit what I was planning for, you know I ended up you know okay so this one I'm gonna need to change it and sculpt it like this, and then this one I'm gonna need to do it like that. So yeah, there that has happened. Hey, Bratella, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you guys. But even just stopping to say hi. But yeah, we're just getting towards the end of the stream here. So uh, let's see, sculpting around here. Let's do a little bit of flattening on this area, and I'll also place in the kind of trying to remember what layer that was on, which one of my data layers um, the mobile home park was. Oh, there you go. I got lucky on that. All right, so let's do a little bit of sculpting the landscape, the splines one more time. Yeah, thank you so much, Bratilla. Thank you. Also, I see that you're working on the main height map. I'm not sure, I don't use landscape in my project, but as I remember, you can add separate layers on top of each other for the landscape. Um, well, so if you're thinking of adding multiple landscapes, that you can do, though I'm not entirely sure how it works in a um, world partition. Excuse me about that. So that part I can't tell you though. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, but they're perfectly great ideas. It's just I wish I could give you more info on that. So that's also kind of my lack of working with the landscape, because like what basically what you see here is pretty much the extent of my work with the landscape, and yeah, which is to some extent slightly limited. Whoops. Yeah, that's what's cool about doing the landscape. It works out pretty quick. Oh, that's a good question, Ron. I didn't think of that. Maybe that's what manga was referring to? Oh, I think I see where you're getting to. Yeah, I think I see where you're getting to with that, though I don't know. All right, that's getting better. Uh, oh, so hmm, I'm also kind of thinking of voxel, like the voxel stuff that Unreal has. That's um, that's another way that I've seen other developers sculpting terrain. Not vertex, like right now Andre's painting on the default height map of the landscape. Wonder if he's intentionally doing that. Well, so I mean um I'm intentionally like sculpting it if that's what you meant. But when it comes to painting, right? So when I come in here, and since we're at the stage of we're gonna paint a little bit of this to get some trees. Okay, yeah. So sculpt tab. Yep. There's a target layer time at the bottom. Oh, this one here. Yeah. I see. Right. And I don't know if you could have multiple of these. Oh, so Imran, is that what it is? Like the because I think I've heard of it, like the that procedural. Um, I'm not sure if that has multiple layers, but now I see what you're saying, manga. But the road splines, yeah, I'm not entirely sure if you can turn them on or off. Because like th this part, I haven't looked into it too much. Um, Again, like I said, pretty basic stuff is what I'm doing. All right, so I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out. No, and but now you kind of got me interested, like kind of curious about that. So I'll try and see if I can learn anything on that because it sounds kind of like a cool feature. I mean, I might not get to use it in my project, but just for like my own knowledge, I'd be interested in seeing what that is, right? Hmm. Huh. Well, I do like layers in Photoshop. Uh, so yeah, that'd be interesting to see how it'll be in here. All right, and we got it's kind of like um, you know, I started off with being kind of pissed off when those when I lost those when that error happened, when I lost those terrain pieces. But now I'm kind of happy that I'm actually getting to like finish off this area around the mobile home a little bit better than it was before. So I'm like, okay, you know, all misery ended up with, kind of some kind of productive end. Though it kind of sucked for a few hours until I got this fixed. Yeah, so I'm really curious about how this is gonna look once we resimulate the vegetation. All right, well, actually I wanted to do a little bit more around here as well, like on this side. Is there anything else I can check for the grass before giving up? I mean, don't give up just yet. Like I said, James and I are still going to be around. Maybe if today is going to be too late, then sometime next week, and we can at least quickly take a look at it. Um, because I don't really uh know why it might have caused that, Hisham. I mean, nothing really um jumps at me as to why the drop. Oh yeah, and Gaia, that's pretty cool. Like I've seen some demos of Gaia. I hope that's how you pronounce it. And that thing looks really cool, like the things you can do with it. Yeah. Oh, so there we go. That actually turned out pretty good. With some of these like kind of cliffs behind this. Yeah, not too shabby. Okay. Well, so that was good to spend the little bit of extra time on this. And yeah. So Hisham, let's touch base on on Discord, and maybe we can get to the bottom of this. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, taking some time out of your Sunday. And I hope to see you next week. Again, if anything, uh, since I'm going to be, moving my some of my hard drives over to this other computer that I'm going to be working on, hopefully everything is going to work out okay. But if worst case, we're just gonna postpone it by a week. So, like I said, worst case, no stream next week, but the week after that. So, I'll post it on Discord. I'll schedule it on YouTube. So yeah. So always, guys, appreciate your time, and yeah, don't forget to do a backup. Well, for sure. Yeah, that's why I use that's why GitHub is there for me. Yeah. So y'all have a great week coming up, and I hope to see you next week again. Take care, guys. All right, be safe. Bye.